with PartinG versus Solar being the first two maps of Pixel One versus Triumphant Song Gaming. So this match is actually a scrap between first place in the group, so it's not quite as simple as the winner of the series advances. In first place, it does depend a little bit on whether teams win by an ace match or not, and I believe it is a bit complex, so I'm just going to leave it and we'll discuss it later on, basically, on what actually happens as the end result. But basically, it's a fight for first place, and both teams are looking for a win to get through the group into first place. As we do have in the bottom right-hand side, our blue Protoss player is PartinG, taking on the red Zerg in the top left from Triumphant Song Gaming, Solar. In one of this best of 7 as we get this started. It's actually kind of tough to call a winner on this one, right? I mean, they're both great players. PartinG has definitely done well, I'd say mostly in PvZ lately. So I'm interested to see what he can bring out of this. We do see the probe and the drone are going to chase each other around a little bit in these early stages. Nexus dropping down in the natural expansion, and just going to be seeing Solar flying through the center of the map. Down toward the bottom right-hand side, spawn pool. Halfway done in the main base, and this probe apart is getting pushed down the left-hand side for a couple of moments, so continue to go down left. Couple extra drones just on the way up then. Again, a lot of setup, a lot of build-up here in the first couple of minutes of a PvZ. So again, just a quick rundown of the matches for this series. Solar versus PartinG will be games number 1 and game number 2. Games number 3 and 4 will be between FanTaSy and herO, with games number 5 and 6, Nice and Firefly, the Taiwanese/Chinese representative from each team, coming forwards in the final maps. Honestly, with the close matches in games number 1 through 4, it could come down to that and decide 5 and 6 games. Will be very interesting. Nice should be a favorite there, but Firefly has absolutely been on the rise in recent times, so he is absolutely a player to watch out for. As we do see, probe of PartinG heading back down the bottom right side, going to be replaced by an Adept in the next few moments, heading its way to the top side of the map, getting ready again towards the base, put on a little bit of pressure, see what he can get up to in the early stages. Adept does shade by. Will it commit? I mean, only slows Zerglings. Oh my god, gets surrounded a little bit there. Got stuck, took a lot of damage. 2 Zerglings now picked off. 3rd Zergling picked off. Zergling number 4 not picked off because the Adept shades away to a Queen. Good shut down by Solar. Nice to pick up a kill there after losing a few Zerglings. The Adept damage was not for free, as we will see the Warp Prism. The Robo Facility choice from PartinG. As the Warp Prism comes out, gives him high ground vision to clean up this Overlord with the help of the Stalker. Going into Forge, so PartinG already just looking for a later stage kind of game here. Or if he wants to go for some kind of timing, it's definitely going to be a later timing with some kind of a +1 attack built into it. And Robo takes away a lot of pressure you can do in the early stages, though, apart from kind of a couple of the Robo kind of push across the maps with a couple of gateway units, etc. Or like a straight up kind of Immortal all-in. And that is a fast Immortal being chrono boosted out of the Robo at the moment, so maybe something like an Immortal Sentry all-in with the +1 attack upgrade. I mean, it's a PartinG special, so could be a possibility. Solar went Zergling speed first and now will go into Pneumatized Carapace, so we'll be able to get some good information, and pretty much just consistent information as to what his opponent is doing. 2 Extractors drop down to the side of the 3rd hatchery, down in that 3rd base as well, as we're just going to be seeing that Immortal just on continuing to chrono boost out. The first one already in the Warp Prism, heading up through the middle of the map now. Extra gateways being dropped down. And there's another gateway dropped in as well, as we do just see this Prism coming all the way up to the top. Immortal is going to grab the Zergling, so Zergling will go down, and yeah, this army just continuing to move on over. Immortal picking up a little bit more damage again. Zergling still running in. Able to get 2 creep tumors. I mean, it's nice pressure initially as we do see the 3rd Nexus dropping. PartinG's only on 41 probes though. Never took this third gas, which is a big sign of potentially like an all-in as well. And as Solar sees this especially, I mean, the extra gas missing, right? I mean, he sees already some of the gates in the main. I would say that that's fine. You know, he's gone up to 5 gates in total here, still not building probes. I think Solar has a very good read of what's going on in game 1 of this now. Question becomes, can Solar then make that good read turn into a defense? Currently heavily supply blocked as he tries to fight against some Zerglings and some Immortals in the middle of the map. PartinG will continue to deal damage here, picks off an active creep tumor again, denying creep spread and slowing down some of the presence Solar has on this map as he will go into his lair finishing shortly. Roach speed will have to be a priority to help him get Roaches and Ravages into the fights here. Just again. We have in the Prism just sitting out in the center. We do still see the Assimilator dropping down there in the natural. So PartinG is now building probes again and maybe realizing that whatever kind of attack he was hoping to go for is not going to work out. So instead he adds on the Twilight Council, you know, off of what, the 6 gates in total. Again, he really did cut probes for a while, but now he's going to try and go back into workers and just build this up as Solar sets up a drop board on the bottom side, a few lings into the main. This typically works the best if your opponent is still looking to all in though, because then they wouldn't have a lot of units defensively. So from Solar's perspective, this is still a nice idea, but probably shouldn't do too much as PartinG is still just sat back at home, building up into Robobay now alongside Blink. So he's not going to go charge, he's going to go Blink, Stalker, Colossus. Complete game changer. As we see those lings unload, and Painted Nest on the way from Solar already starts to drop the Spire down as well, so already preparing for, I mean, sees the Robobay, drops the Spire, so he already has potential to go into Corruptors if Colossus are the choice. Hallucinated Phoenix continue to scout, you'll see the Spire here as well, we'll see if that changes PartinG's mind. He could go Disruptors, but there's a lot of lings in play, and lings against Disruptors are very, very good. You know, it's difficult to get Disruptor shots successfully on lings because they're fast. They're often in melee range of your own units. It's never going to turn out too well, so we'll see what he does want to do with this Robobay. Now PartinG starts to move onto the map. I mean, this game feels like each player is just scouting one move and then responding, and then the other player scouts the response, and then like, okay, well, I'm going to change up what I was doing. A bit crazy at the moment. Infestation Pit from Solar starts on the 3rd hatchery, so getting that 3rd base up and running here. Zergling's still running over the Immortals. Getting surrounded a little bit. PartinG continuing back down the bottom right side. 4th hatchery is about to complete from Solar. So getting that finished up as we have the Spire about to complete as well. So we see it goes from Solar into the main base, and he's going to have a full scout around. Blink finishing up on the Twilight Council, +2 attack now being front boosted. Well, here we go. 5 extra Stalkers being warped in. The Stalkers at the front already picking away at an Overlord. That Overlord will fall down. Solar takes the tower, and Overseer is just going to be pushed out over the left. This army of PartinG moving around the left side is really looking kind of scary, right? There's a lot of Stalkers in here. Sentries for a few force fields against Banelings. It feels good, PartinG's army. I mean, now he starts going into Colossus. I mean, that feels very... Obviously, it's not kind of the time he was originally looking for. But obviously decides that he's going to go for it anyways now based on what you've seen from Solar's composition. Still pulling back. He's going to make it all the way back home. 4th Nexus coming up on the top side. We'll see where Solar wants to take his army as his hive is starting up as well. And Solar sets up the +2 melee on the Evolution Chamber. We'll see a lair in the main base. That's going to be finishing up in a moment or two. Also, even more Zerglings coming up into production. Stalker's taking another Overlord. And into the main base, the Overseer will move on through and just continue to scatter around. Solar's been so good at this. Consistent scouting all game long. Now he sees the Colossus boom, instantly corrupted production. He's not going to be caught off guard by any tech choice of PartinG. He's making sure he's always going to have the correct response, or at least the response he feels is most fitting based on the scenario. Looks like these Corruptors need to be in this fight before he takes the engagement though, and the Ling's already running away from that counter-attack setup from Solar. Is quite hopeful as well. Extra Banelings morphing in from Solar too. Those Lings running by in towards this natural mineral line. Already quite a few probes in some trouble yet. I mean, those Banelings are going to go and connect on all of them, so that's 22 probes down. This run by has already done great damage here from Solar. What a way to start this as now the recall comes in. The rest of these units will be cleaned out. Those couple of Banelings shot down. Stalkers, Archon, Immortals continuing up through the center. Bane, Roach Ravager. Continuing around as well, there's that Great Aspire that's going to be completing in a few moments as this army still up into the middle of this. I mean, PartinG is obviously still maxed out. And what's scary is he rebuilt a few probes, but he's only going to be on 57, which means he's got 143 army supply, which is obviously pretty crazy. As here we go, Bane's going to roll into this here. The Stalker's already blinked back. The first couple Archons go down. Corruptors waste some time fighting a hallucinated Colossus, so this isn't pretty. Lings around the backside, trying to hit reinforcements, trying to get the surround of the Colossus. The Colossus will fall. Problem is, there's just too many Stalkers, and Solar will not have a response to those. And these Stalkers are obviously going to clean up the Corruptors that remain. I mean, the Lings that are going to pour out here are going to get shot down very quickly and very easily. They're going to go in for an attempt of a surround, but there's just so much Protoss left over. PartinG's back and forth in this game is going to be good enough to pick up game number 1. PartinG takes it on Acropolis and puts Pixel 1 into the lead of this first place Leapers. And as we jump into this, we do start in the bottom left-hand side with our red Protoss player. He is down 1-0 in this best of 7. Sorry, he's up 1-0 for his team in this best of 7. It is Pixel 1's PartinG. Up against the Blue Zerg top right-hand side, Solar from Triumphant Song Gaming. So game 2 of our series here. I was just looking out the window, see what the heck that... I don't know if you guys could hear on the mic, but very annoying noise. Turns out it was some guys loading up some grass cutters onto a van right outside my window. Not very nice, is it? But they've stopped now. They're on the van. Looks like they're going to be gone, so no more weird buzzing sounds in my ears. I mean, it's always concerning when you can hear like a big like sort of sound through the through the headset and through the game sounds of StarCraft. So just wanted to check, make sure there wasn't something blowing up outside. Forge drops down early from PartinG, so he's looking for a bit of a cannon rush early. Gateway into Forge. He has one probe across the map, and this probe is currently just still sat in the main, so he drops the Cyber Code as well. Maybe just decided not to go for this for whatever reason. I mean, it's not really normal though, right? Okay, now he's going to start dropping the pylons. It's a very late setup of the cannons here. This drone coming along, PartinG will wall off. He will get a cannon behind this mineral line. This is obviously a slow setup from PartinG. It was so slow that I was actually kind of convinced that nothing was going to come of this early on. This probe kind of stuck there. He doesn't... The problem is if you cancel that pylon, nicely done, cancels and rebuilds it. But the probe is still stuck in the corner. I'm pretty sure the probe was meant to be pushed out of this. Instead, the probe is still kind of stuck here, and that's really his problem. As we're going to see, 2 more cannons will start. These drones are going to get the probe kill. Probe goes down, nicely done. And the first cannon on this side is going to have to be cancelled. This is where the drones pull away. So there's going to be, what, 2 cannons at most here, up and running. Nice catch. Next probe goes down as well. So PartinG not having a lot of success with this early. These spines are going to easily take down these cannons. Do you need all 3 spine crawlers? Is my next question. I would say 2 would be plentiful, given the circumstances. Maybe he needs the 3 just to make sure he takes them down in time. He will go face first into these, which will save the hatchery. Maybe 3 was a good call, actually, because this first one's going to go down pretty quickly. Yeah, there you go. Solo knows this game better than I do. Not surprising. So yeah, he's going to take 3 spine crawlers. I mean, 2 with the Queen and the Lings anyways, I think might have still been enough, actually. But yeah, I mean, obviously, an extra spine crawler, he probably would have lost less Lings, or needs less Lings as well, so... It's kind of 6 and 2, 3, so you could build an extra spine or you build even more Lings to break out of it. So yes, he probably would have been fine. But, you know, it probably would have just cost him the same amount anyways. So the spines work just fine. And that is a cleanup. It's obviously PartinG very slow to expand in this game. Going Gate Forge and the Cybernetics Core all before he drops down the Nexus. Spine Pro and Zerglings. Get rid of that pylon in the back of this mineral line. Here's the Stargate still chrono boosting. The Oracle going to pop out and start to head across to the upper right-hand side. This Oracle going to be heading into the main in the next couple of moments here. Phoenix. Production from PartinG is just the one to get rid of an Overlord. Seems like it. Phoenix after the Oracle. Oracle number 2, or are we just going to take it further is my next question. There's going to be an Oracle number 2, so a couple Oracles coming out. As you see, Warp Gate halfway done. Nexus finally completes here. So PartinG is now up on 2 bases, but I'd say Solo is in a pretty comfortable position. Yeah, the third hatchery is later than usual, but you know, he's still saturating his main and natural. He has 6 workers up, so I think overall Solo has to be pretty content with the position he's in. It's not really too troubling or anything. As we do just have this Oracle continuing down this right-hand side. Zod about to finish up on the gateway. Cannon still just sat behind this wall off as well. And as you see, the 2 Oracles are still kind of thinking about coming further forwards here, but no real success. 10 more Zerglings on the way up. Robo Facility drops down in the natural expansion. Cybercore finishes the Warp Gate, and we do just see the Robo is still continuing along here at the moment. Oracles be, again, not quite picked off. The Phoenix Oracle combo is actually doing a lot here. PartinG getting more done than I thought initially. Another Oracle coming across the map. Well, there was meant to be 3 Oracles, now it will just be 2 again. That was a shame to lose one before the third shows up, because the damage potential with 3 Oracles is crazy. I mean, that said, 3 Queens went down in this. Couple drones. Just feels like, you know, yes, the Queens are nice, but not getting the extra drones is what you probably could have had with the third Oracle in play. So missing that kind of does hurt a little bit. Phoenix taking a couple of shots again. Oracle will pick off a drone there, and a couple more drones will go down. Job well done again by PartinG. Really making a good effort of this. There's 3 extra gateways in the main base. Just send him for a little bit of robo pressure here, although supply blocked. Definitely hasn't been the best game from PartinG in terms of mechanically. A couple of supply blocks here and there, and yeah, it's been a weird one, honestly. Kind of like that first game was weird. Felt like both players were kind of ping-ponging between ideas just because they kept scouting each other. This is weird in a whole different way. Zergling's just outside the third as we do see the Nexus dropping down. Two Oracles and the Phoenix out on the side. The Lings from Solar still looking for an opener. Still looking for a way in here early on. And again, just going to be seeing the 2 Oracles and the Phoenix back. Continuing up to the top right side. Still some Zerglings from Solar in the middle of the map. We will see the Phoenix is going to nibble its way through that Overseer. Queen's going forwards, and just going to see the Phoenix is going to take a few shots. Blink starting up on the Twilight Council. Getting that Blink up and running, and this looks like a similar style from PartinG, looking to play Colossus with Blink. You definitely just prefer that style compared to the more typical Mortal Archon Zealot play. Drones getting picked off. Really good damage with these Oracles. You got to give it to PartinG. Even though he lost one of the Oracles, the damage he's found with the Oracles has been really impressive. I mean, multiple Queens, a couple extra drones here and there, just getting out with shield damage. It's especially scary when these Oracles are low health, because obviously then, once the shields are gone, they're dying pretty soon afterwards. So yeah, especially when they're low health like that, still great to be able to pick up damage. And well, Solo drops down the Spire because, similar to the last game, he's going to keep on scouting. He's going to keep on being aware of what is going on. He has seen that Robo Bay building. So he's building a spy. He's going to go +1 melee upgrades here, so it looks like he wants to play into a Ling Bane-based composition as time passes by. It's the front. One of them gets shot down already. We're just coming in as well. I mean, I don't think you can break this on the 2 bases. The 3 base is going to be difficult as well, partnering with a lot of stack defense over there. So for the moment, Solo will just have to pull back. Ooh, it's a change-up from PartinG. He is going to go into Disruptors now. Setting up into that, as you do see the couple Oracles get some kills. "14 Mutalisks. Well, I tell you what, based on what Solo's seen, I guess Mutas kind of make sense, right? Even if Colossus do end up coming up here, Mutas will still have something of an impact. But the Mutas are a good way to change up the pacing of this game a little bit and maybe give Solo the chance to finally be a bit aggressive himself and to really dictate the pacing from his side of things. Because so far, he's really just been responding to the fact that PartinG has been, you know, very aggressive in this game. He tries to Chrono Boost before, just Stalkers get walked in, he's going to commit onto it. He will deny +2 attack. It's a nice pick off as well, makes those Mutalisks even less vulnerable to the Stalker shots. Those Mutas, first flock of them, flying into the 3rd base now, and to tell you what, the shield batteries and cannon don't really cover the mineral line. PartinG pulls his probes immediately, but 4 workers already down, hurting quite a lot now. Because he's going to lose workers in the main, he's obviously going to have to be pulling probes all over the place too. Big blink in. Stalkers will get 1 Mutalisk so far, not quite anything else just yet. Colossus and Disruptor on their own. A warp in Stalker out of Gateway or Nexus range. Makes it a slow warp in. I'd say 9 probes is already very successful for the cost of 1 Mutalisk. Good start from Solo, and then obviously these Mutas are going to be poised to pounce again the second if PartinG tries to move out across the map or anything. These Mutas are going to look for a chance. I mean, PartinG, because he already has Blink, does not really want to go in towards a position where he has to build in towards Phoenix, etc. to deny this as well, but with more and more Mutalisks joining up, it looks like he might actually have to. There's 27 Mutalisks on the map. You know what, Solo might just overrun this army with 27 Mutalisks. There is more Mutas than Stalkers on the map right now. And they're going to start doing a lot of damage. If he kills the Cybercore, he denies Stalker production. This is nice as well. 2 Stalkers in the front that can be fought, while the rest of the Stalkers are just kind of a little stuck behind the wall off. Kings and Roaches want to dive in with this as well. The Mutas find a War Prism moving forwards here. There is no anti-air in this army. The Stalkers are off over to the left-hand side somewhere, so the Mutas will get to work. Pulls back to the shield batteries. A few Lings getting a surround to help out along the way. Now he's going to come back along the other side. He's going to find a Colossus as he goes. And PartinG just can't find himself in the right position at any stage with this army. He's being pulled all over the place. The Mutas will continue to go. Stalker still getting picked off. PartinG out in the middle of the map. Solo pulling away up the top right side. Another Cybernetics core picked off. I mean, I say another, but this time the Cybernetics core will go down here at the front. Another building in the front. I mean, no Cybercore means no Stalker production. Looks as though he's got another already built somewhere, though. Good pre-warning or pre-thinking from PartinG there. Putting that new one up before he gets to the problem of, oh my god, I've got Blink and we're relying on Stalkers and I can't build any Stalkers, because obviously that would be a bit more disastrous. Stalkers turning around again to try and fight. I mean, Mutas can't turn around, I guess, really to fight these Stalkers. I mean, when your Stalker versus Muta fight is looking like this, I think it's time to realize you're in a very bad position because you're not winning this. Now the Lingers show up, it's going to be even tougher for you to win this fight as PartinG, and I mean, the Stalkers are just dying all over the place, and if this Colossus tries to come in and fight, the Mutas will target it down in an instant. Mutalisks win this game from Solo, never mind everything else that happened here. Just go Bloodbath in the bottom top left-hand side. The series is tied up 1-1. It is going to be our Blue Products player, herO. And the bottom right-hand side, our Red Terran player is FanTaSy. As we set this up, get this rolling. See what's going to happen in Game 3 of the series. We do already see the probe of herO coming down across the map. Look to see what will happen. herO, generally known as a very aggressive Protoss player as of late. Even when he plays macro, he plays that kind of aggressive macro style. He always looks for the fights, he looks for the attacks. And it's one of the more frustrating styles to play against in TVP because Protoss do have a lot of aggressive options typically. in this matchup, and I don't want to let them get away with that. So, see what herO can come up with here against FanTaSy, who's being honestly looking better and better as the year goes by. Really great to see him coming back from the military and just continuing to put out some awesome games. Really cool to see. SCV is going to fight the probe. You'll see the CC plays down. Obviously doesn't have to be perfect because you can just lift that and relocate it quite easily as this probe will head out into the middle of the map. Command center is then in place on the cybernetics core about halfway done here as well. The Nexus halfway done too. As we continue to set up into this simulator, drops down in the main. Our build up shall continue. So away we go is another game, nothing too crazy here. 2 minutes in, and herO is pulling this probe off to the corner. We'll see if anything in particular comes of that. Just heading down into this bottom left-hand side here. We're going to be seeing the Stargate from herO then. So it is just a scout then from herO. Going into that Stargate and see what he can do with it, as we'll still wait to see what FanTaSy's choice is going to be. He's got a lot of minerals here, FanTaSy. 1 gas. It's either a very fast 3rd CC or, I mean, extra barracks. It's kind of too late, right? Because he's got so many minerals he just isn't using. Well, okay, there's the starport. All of this still off of 1 gas. I was not expecting the starport, actually. I was not expecting the starport at all. It's going to be Marine, Hellion, Medevac? Medevac's drop the Hellions, Marines wonder, or Hellions run, Marines get dropped. Aggressive attack either way. Obviously, FanTaSy bypass the early Reaper to go into the faster reactor here. Couple links coming in. That probe gets pushed back. Oracle still in production in the main base as this Hellion comes all the way to the top side. There's the Medevac. So it looks as though it's probably going to be Hellions running by as the Marines lift the Medevacs, get lifted into the Medevac, right? That would make the most sense in all of this. More Marines coming into the main. Is going to see next Hellion, next Medevac. Going to pop it a moment or two. So there's going to be about 8 Marines that can jump into this Medevac in a moment or so and jump in there and go on an adventure. Oracle coming forwards will not do a lot. Medevac goes up the right side. Hellions are indeed running. So let's see what FanTaSy can get done. Phoenix production typically very good in this scenario because you can lift up the Hellions and shut those down, but I am worried about what you're going to do about the 8 Marines here. Feels like they're going to be pretty powerful. The Oracle's getting drawn out by the Hellions as the Marines heading toward the main base. Again, it's an Oracle that's out of position to defend, right? The Adepts kind of out of position too. This one Phoenix out of position. Well, the Adepts have just shaded down from the main into the natural. What a timing. Because now we're going to see the Oracle will commit in, but I mean, Marines can kill that Oracle and it will go down. So herO loses the Oracle. Walked in, Adept goes down as well, gets a couple of probes. I'd kind of like to see him just push this Phoenix back to keep the Medevac alive. herO's pulling everything back way too late, and now Hellions have ran by into the natural. 14 workers are dead, and that's going to increase as these Hellions look for a couple extra shots before they get taken down. 21 probes killed. What an attack by FanTaSy, and herO just had all of his units just in the wrong places at the wrong times, and also, I mean, you know, everything fell apart. The 2 Adepts that shaded down to the natural at the wrong moment. The Oracle pulled back just a moment too late. The Phoenix pulled back a moment too late. Crazy. 22 probes killed here, as we'll see herO goes across the map with the 2 Phoenix, but what a deficit he's playing from. 14 workers down in army supply. I mean, FanTaSy has already just got 2nd and 3rd racks up and ready to go on towards tech labs for Stimpack and combat shields. Phoenix taking some damage. Is going to be seeing the Cyclone locked on. herO's just out of there. He realizes FanTaSy is going to be taking this serious. Or at least this game. FanTaSy just too strong. herO realizes FanTaSy has too much. Good economy behind it. And there you go. FanTaSy VP, it's possible. Let's see what happens. As looking to try and tie the series up for the 2nd time today, TSG are trailing our Red Protoss in the bottom right. herO. Top left-hand side, our blue Terran player is FanTaSy, leading this series 2-1 for his team. Fourth map of the series as we get this ready to roll. See what's going to happen. Sorry guys, I just realized I didn't update the stream towel of FanTaSy versus herO. Let me do that quickly. It's been a pretty fun series so far, it really has been, as you just see this probe of herO continuing out to the upper left hand side of the map. And he's going to be arriving in towards the main base in next couple of minutes. So probe up into the main. SCV will start to take some damage, and well, this barracks is going to complete in a moment or two. SCV is still fighting. A Marine early again, so no Reaper. FanTaSy going to stick by his values in that first game, and I'm intrigued to see what FanTaSy will get up to this time around. Does he go for something aggressive like that again? I really feel like for herO, that's one of those games where you look back on and you just shake your head a little bit like, oh man, like how much more could have gone wrong for me? Like, what more could I have messed up on, basically? Because everything did kind of go wrong for him there. Let's be realistic. None of that was really very pretty all said and done. As this probe of herO going to fall back down through the center of the map, so that's going to be pulling back down to lower right a little bit. We do see the factory starting up here from FanTaSy, and the reactor building up on the barracks with a second supply depot to complete this wall off. So probe continues down, and will be just continuing to push around a little bit as well. Again, a little bit of scouting in these early stages. We see our Stargate from herO. So once again, a Stargate-based opener. It's safe typically, puts you in generally a good position to move on in the game. You can do a couple of different things. Some people like to build do a good few Phoenix and really help those, or use those to help you transition through into the mid game. Other people like to just play the couple of Oracles and just take map control and Revelations with that, keep track of the Terran army. Kind of depends on what your style is going to be overall. Adept just going to be shading backwards and forwards. Hellion going to pop. Starport is just past halfway done in the barracks and factory. Going to swap back over. Hellion's most likely the production unit here from the factory, so they're obviously not going to help much against the Oracle. A Cyclone would have been better, but we'll obviously give him some aggressive opportunity. Oh, a medevac as well. I don't like this. This feels like the sort of scenario where herO gets a lot done because there's no real anti-air in play, against the Oracle. Against, if you knew this was I guess there's no scouting from FanTaSy, right? If you knew this was a Stargate, a Viking and a Cyclone would put you in an amazing position to shut that down and put you into a great spot. Shaded up there as this Hellion's going to lose this fight. Has to get out of there again. It's already been repaired once. Hellion's just currently sat in the main, and well, FanTaSy's kind of doing the same thing. It's a little bit different this time. There's only 6 Marines in the medevac. There's going to be what? Well, there should have been 5 Hellions, but one of them went down to this Adept. Shade forwards here. We'll scout the Hellions. We'll scout the medevac. So good information from there. Sorry guys, that was a very loud bing. I don't know where that came from. It's somewhere on my, I think it was my email. Who emails me? Hellions and Marines still pressing forwards, and they are going to be forcing the Adepts to shade backwards there. The Phoenix coming through though, and I think this should be a much better defense from herO. Everything is caught up together. As you're going to see those probes getting pulled in. 5 workers down. Oracle is going to get a couple extra Marines. Those Hellions are just trapped. I mean, they're going to drop down into there. Well, not quite their death initially, but then the medevac is going to get picked off, and that will be that. 8 probes killed, but it cost FanTaSy the whole army. He didn't get the army units that he got in the last game, so this time, this game will go on. It will continue through as we get set into stage 2 of this TVP, the mid-game. And you can see that herO obviously already had a few Phoenix up. He's going to continue building a few extra, so he is one of those players to, playing that sort of style where you do get a few Phoenix up and try and do something with that. seeing these Phoenix from herO up to the top side of the map. Grab a couple of SCVs on the right-hand side there. The third Nexus coming up from herO as well, so setting himself up nicely for the next little stage of this. The Phoenix keep on gathering up. Those adapts shading forwards will not get anywhere in particular. Two barracks going to land on Tech Labs. Just impact combat shields can start up in the next few moments. There's the factory going to start a Tech Lab as well. So there we have it, Stimpack and Combat Shields both getting started at the starport with a reactor on it. Factory with a Tech Lab. Two more packs from FanTaSy building up in the main. We do see the Phoenix are flying in to pick away at a few SCVs. 4 workers going down. Fly up into the main base. A couple more medevacs on the way out here, and we will still just see Stimpack, Combat Shields. +1 attack all coming in. The Vikings firing away, and the Phoenix still taking quite some damage. Marines coming in underneath those Vikings too, and just still keeping those Phoenix pinned back for the moment. Oracle from herO up the right side. We've seen the Sellout warping in as well, and again, a lot of build-up for the moment as we do see our Templar Archives dropping into the main base. As Oracle drops that Stasis Ward down, and just going to be seeing Marines, Vikings, Medevacs, Marauders. This Bio-Army of FanTaSy is about to have Stimming Combat Shields. It's getting ready to push. But as the Templar Archives finishes from herO, he should be able to get Archons up, and we'll see if he wants to go straight into Storm. I think he should just get some Archons initially here, though, right? I mean, you really need something to buffer up this Grand Army rather than relying on the castable Storms. This is interesting. FanTaSy has 2 full medevacs, hasn't peeled those away to go drop yet, but we'll see if that's something he will look to do once he gets across the map, perhaps. Maybe he'll just kind of decide as he goes, and if he sees that he wants to just take a straight up fight, then he can just drop these units back into the main army, right? So, kind of interesting. Those Phoenix, this is exactly what they're looking for, lifts on units and reinforcements, and that's why you can't just, well, you can't just kind of stream units across a couple at a time. One of the things these are very good at. Whoa, was that all SCVs in these medevacs? I didn't even realize. I was trying to hide the idea of this push, and actually Storm isn't done yet, so FanTaSy has a timing. Oh, but the Stasis Ward is really going to slow him down. This Phoenix is also going to be pretty good against the tanks here, because if the tanks just get lifted during the fight, even if they don't get killed, they're taken out of the fight, right? They're not putting out that splash damage, which is meant to be oh so important at that stage. That Stasis Ward has fought herO the time he really needed. Right now, Storm is done, although he doesn't have High Templar in this fight initially. There are the Phoenix picking off reinforcements, so as expected, they'll do pretty well there. And Immortal will get shut down. Phoenix can come back in, maybe get rid of these couple of tanks, a Viking or 2 on the ground as well. First Storm drops, hits pretty nicely onto those bio units, and at the moment this is hurting. Reinforced and medevac shot down as well. Here we go, Zealots charging forwards. Big Storm on that low ground. There go the Phoenix lifting up. Well, they didn't even have to lift up that many tanks. They lifted up 1. herO will just smash this attack of FanTaSy back to where it came from. Last few Zealots trying to play clean up. There will be a couple units left over, but obviously herO has a very comfortable amount to continue defending with. 13 SCVs lost for FanTaSy. He's 2 base all in. He's only on 2 CCs. He's on 5 racks. So was on 46 workers, which is 2 base saturation. Loses 13 of those. Now FanTaSy's really in trouble, because continuing in this game is going to be difficult unless he can break through here and start to deal some damage to herO, which is unlikely to happen. Because again, herO just seems to have done enough to defend this properly at this stage, and as the tank stages up, it will just force herO to slow this down a little bit, just back away a moment. herO is making Void Rays, which I find very intriguing. I wonder if it's just because there is very few Marines on the map, and the Void Ray will help to clean up the Marauders, obviously the tanks. I don't know, maybe just anything that can fight right now, although I really feel like he'd be better off just adding in another Archon or so. I mean, I guess he is winning out in the skies, so in a way it's going to work for him. Army supplies are even as FanTaSy still presses forwards, but he's down in an armor upgrade. Plus 2 armor on the way from herO, who's also going into second Robo Facility and Robo Bay during this, so you know, herO's still tacking up. He feels no concern about holding this off. That obviously might make this hold a little bit tougher to kind of execute, because he's going to be on less units. But obviously, eventually, it means he's on a better tech coming out of this fight as well, so... Well, this continues to go very well for herO. Zealots will have to pull back up to that high ground here. A few extra Zealots wolfing in on the right side. Things fly into this. Another Medevac going to get shot down. Medevac number 2 in this fight will go down now as well. Phoenix still chasing the bio. Trying to start a step away, but it's not working just yet. As we are going to be seeing the Void Rays activating their prismatic alignments, and those Phoenix just picking off another Marauder or so. Marines in some trouble too, and just going to be seeing those sentries, the Immortal. All of this pulling back around the left side. Tank from the center from FanTaSy will siege up too. And we are going to see a recall on a couple of sentries and Immortal, and they will get brought back over to this right side as a few High Templar from herO back over there as well. So all said and done, herO's held off. FanTaSy is now 77 supply. And this would tie these two teams up again going into games 5 and 6. The Chinese Taiwanese players, Firefly and Nice, would have to decide who takes the series basically, or to see if this goes to an ace match. 2 more Colossus on the way out from herO. Still Phoenix on the top of the map, and you can see why this has been a battle for first place in this group. These teams seem so evenly matched. So Phoenix is trying to give a bit more of the Void Rays as well. I mean, I still can't get behind the fact he built Void Rays, and well, now they are going to go down. Sad times, Void Ray Landers. FanTaSy has another army over here, but I mean, he's about to be down 2 armor upgrades, which means those Zealots, I mean, are they even going to take damage? It's not going to feel like they will. Look at that. Entire bio army hit takes like 4 volleys to take a Zealot down. It's just crazy as the Warp Prism gets taken down as well. The High Templar misses its Storm. I mean, it's a good start from FanTaSy, but again, he's playing with very little, so he kind of needs more than just a good start. And against 2 Colossus, even without extended Thermal Lance, there's not really much you can do. A drop goes into the main, as we see another Storm dropping in the center. High Templar morph into Archons. These Stalkers being warped in again. I mean, all said and done, it's just going to be too much from herO. FanTaSy can try again, but he's about to be mined out of his main base. His natural is going to be half mineral patches in a moment as well. In the end, all of that is just not pretty. One more Marine shot down. His Medevac goes down. Everything will just keep on dropping here, guys. I mean, again, there's nothing much else to say about it. herO in this game number 4 has just not had, he's just had complete control for a while. And that is going to be GG's. herO ties this up 2-2. Nicely done. Tied up 2-2 in this best of 7 team match. On the top left-hand side from Triumphant Song Gaming, it is Nice up against the Blue Protoss on the bottom right-hand side. Firefly from Pixel 1. A 2-0 for either of these guys will put their team into the win and will send either of these teams through in first place. A 1-1 obviously sends us to an ace match to decide who wins this group. So game number 5 here on Winter's Gate. Some PvP action for us. Let me just edit the stream title, guys. When did I get my hair cut? It was like a few days ago. Don't know. Friday, maybe? I think it was on Friday, but I didn't really stream over the weekend, so... So, yeah. Probes chrono boosting away in the early stages of this PvT. 2 gateways coming up on either side. And this pylon in the corner here is obviously a little bit interesting. I mean, it is seen by Nice. That shouldn't catch him off guard or anything, or do anything too crazy here. As you will just see this probe to the high ground. A couple of adepts in production straight away here to try and get in towards this probe and shut that down, of course. So, again, like I said before, I don't think there's anything too crazy or ridiculous about this just yet. So we'll have the probes continuing to mine away. Adepts on either side of the map to start us off. Probe of Firefly here is able to get a couple of nibbles, and Nice will take some damage. Now Firefly builds a pylon over here to try and watch to see what was built. And you will see it was Adept initially. Is he gonna... Okay, he will cancel that. I mean, there's no point keeping it up, right? There's a probe here that can expand anyways, so... He still has this pylon in the main base. I wonder if that was really intentional to kind of be left alive. I'm sorry, I didn't really pay attention. I was reading the Twitch chat to see what you guys were talking about. Two Adepts still coming up to the top. We do see the Adepts also going to try and shade by. Oh, that's not a wall up, so two Adepts get into the main. Fortunately, it was at the end of their shades. They don't get into the mineral line immediately, which means it's going to be very limited numbers of kills, but obviously it still is going to be some kills, right? Which is a little bit annoying. 3 probes. It could have been so much worse, though. If they were shading from here and they got straight to the mineral line, that's like 6 or 7 workers killed, if not more. Two Adepts still hitting this pile on the side. Just cleaning that up. Next is dropping down. You can see that Firefly's trying to apply some pressure. You're going to attempt to shade up again, but the shield battery will, of course, keep them out for the moment. So far, so good. As the shield battery cancels, we'll actually see Nice coming down here with his Adepts to try and shut down a couple of Adepts of his opponent, but nothing too crazy just yet. So we will see Robo Facility dropping down in the main base. So Robotics Facility drops down in the main. This Nexus about to complete on the natural. Robo starts up in the main base of Nice, like I said. So it's going to be Robo on Robo. And this PvP, honestly, is going to take a turn into the mid-game. At the very least, so... setting up into that. Two Stalkers, two Adepts coming down the bottom right. A lot of Adepts from Nice, so actually he will get a bit aggressive here. We'll see if he can achieve anything with this attack. Just going to be setting the way down to the lower sides, and there's a good number of Adepts here, 8 in total, so see what they can do as they'll shade forwards once again. Those Adepts nicely shaded by Firefly to make sure they can't get up into the main. Adept shades are the only thing that blocks other Adept shades and structures, so by shading yourself, you're able to pretty much hold these Adepts from shading into the main. So there you go, as you see. Good hold, good stop so far on this low ground. Another round of Adepts going to shade forwards here. Yeah, I really liked it. This is really, really well played, honestly. Just doing this completely correctly so far, and it's going to force Nice into the next stage of this without any further damage done, so he drops the Forge. I do like the Forge early. The earlier you get a Forge, the faster those upgrades start rolling, the more advantages you'll have in these fights. The Twilight Fast is nice from Firefly, but overall, you know, the Twilight's going to give you an upgrade advantage for a little while, and then when your opponent gets the upgrade, that's it, it's done. But the Forge really carries through into upgrade advantages at multiple points during the game, which is why I do just prefer that as the initial choice here. As long as you don't just straight up die to something in the next couple minutes while you're without maybe the Twilight upgrade that your opponent goes for. But that +1 should do a lot to help out as well. Yeah, seeing the Prism going to start dropping down. Sentry's getting healed up by the shield battery. Couple of probes. Being picked away out in the natural, so Nice does eventually get some damage done with these Adepts. I mean, that's nice. Obviously, in the main base, the Prism can save most of those Adepts as well, so drains a shield battery of energy. Overall, it's good, you know. Just Nice applying some pressure, gets some probe kills. I feel like Nice has put himself in a good position in this game. He is a bit down in army supply, ahead by a few probes. See what happens shortly. Are these slow zones for the ground as well? Yes, they slow down any air or ground unit that goes through these slow zones. So anything going through there gets slow zoned. 6 more gateways in production. Warp Prism being added in as well. Extra probe starting up. We will see this hallucination out over to the right-hand side. Cast's going to finish up shortly. +1 again. I mean, that's what I mean. That +1's so fast. Going into the Disruptor's already nice. Now we see Glaives from Firefly, which again, we talked about this earlier in one of the previous PvPs. It's typically a very aggressive way to... It's typically a very aggressive way to fight, basically, to kind of go into the mid-game. Interested to see how this is going to go. Steps do commit, and actually they're going to go for a probity, but not really for much success. Disruptor hanging out there. We see the War Prism up in the high ground. Stalkers will come forwards, and the War Prism going to take quite a lot of damage and is going to get taken down. Good pick off by these Stalkers. So really good shutdown there. Now more Stalkers coming in from Nice. Dealing some damage. Oh, good little recall away there. That was some good play by Firefly to keep those Adepts alive, but even better defense from Nice. Multiple fronts, all defended, no issue at all. A job really well done at the moment. Really well done at the moment here as Firefly does not find an opening. Now he has been building Disruptors of his own, so both players are going to have Disruptors in this upcoming Disruptor war, and that could be very interesting. Excited to see what is going to come of this. Couple hallucinated Phoenix. Moving into the center of the map. Hallucination moving around in the middle as well, trying to see what else is going on. Yeah, just gonna see Disruptor still coming now, +1 being Chrono boosted by the Forge as well. So Army's still up into the middle of the map, and well, let's see what happens as we do just see our Army pushing across. Army supplies are still similar. That +1 still in favor of Nice. It's +2 stun. The upgrade lead is pretty drastic, right? It's like a minute and a half or so. No third Nexus here yet. That's a big Disruptor shot. Gets a Disruptor kill of his opponent as well. Yeah, that's a really nice start to this fight from Firefly. His Disruptor's now a little bit exposed, but will not be capitalized on by Nice. Now looking for his own Disruptor shot, but it finds nothing at all. Firefly with that faster Nexus looks really good here, I think. That Disruptor shot was good. He was on double Robo too, so he's building 2 Disruptors at a time instead of 1. Finds this third Nexus instantly with the Adepts, and that might be a cancel if he was completely focusing. Disruptor's still not finding much over here. He's going to get this pylon initially, and then maybe he will still get the Nexus, actually. Disruptor shots, again, not really connected on much at all. Firefly disengages. Those Adepts are target firing. They get the kill, no cancel. And they're shading as well, so they might be able to get back to the rest of the army here. It's kind of closed this army really backed away a bit, but that's going to be good. Meanwhile, an Immortal drop in the main tries for a Robo facility, but a big recall. And that War Prism will be forced away to the space here where they will try and pick up some probes. So good counterplay by Nice, trying to find his way back into this. But the 2 Immortals are just left behind. They will not quite go down, but take a lot of damage. They will actually find both of those Disruptors. Stalker's going to blink for the War Prism, doesn't find it. Unload again. Those Stalkers should be able to get the shots on this. They're trying to get the one further away. They get both Immortals. Now the Adepts are back in this natural mineral line as well, but there's Cannons and Stalkers to defend. Nice is pushing up this ramp. Big Disruptor shot. 2 Disruptors for 1 shot, and that's not quite another there just yet. Observer of Nice goes down as well. This game's getting crazy. Still trying to see what else is happening. Stalkers blink forwards. There goes 1. There goes 2. Oh my god. What a disaster here. There's a couple of Force Fields getting dropped down as well. We're going to see the Immortals. Stalkers continue to fight. Great play by Firefly, and I think it's going to be good enough to take this game, because look at this. What is left over for Nice? Well, a group of Stalkers. I guess he has 1 Immortal as he takes the Immortal of Firefly down. Now the blink forwards though, and there goes Nice Immortal. Nice does not have the Stalker counter fight here, but he does have +2 attack against +1. Does that make the difference? Not really. Down a Nexus, down 11 workers, down 20 army supply. The +2 upgrade is the only thing in his favor right now, and Nice is in a lot of trouble here as Firefly doesn't want to go blinking into this, though. The flanking Disruptor is cute. It will force Nice to back away, and Firefly looks as though he might be winning this game to put Pixel 1 in the lead again, which is crazy. Really crazy, as we're just going to be seeing the Extra Stalkers continue to warp in. Dark Shrine starting is going to be seeing a Disruptor shot onto the ramp. Obviously, the Stalkers will blink away from that and avoid it for the moment. I mean, Dark Shrine makes the most sense from Nice as well, right? Because it's putting him in a position where he is very far behind. Something like DTs is one of his only ways back into this game, and even that is doubtful. There's multiple observers up, etc. But you can't just not try, right? Nice play here. Nice snipes not Disruptor, and then blinks away. The Disruptor was looking to go behind the Stalkers, so if they tried to blink away and it went off, they would have probably died. These guys are playing really cool. Disruptor was really lots of little tactical moves in each of these fights, doing a great job of it. Doing a great job of it at the moment. Just the Adept's going to hang out to the side and, well, charge is about halfway done here, so it's transitioning into a more, let's say, standard composition. But honestly, Stalker Disruptor is not an unheard of composition in PvP either. For a long time, it was the standard, it was the norm. Yeah, again, the charge up will maybe normalize this game. It's kind of modern day PvP a bit. I mean, charge is a nice upgrade to have because Reinforced Zealot is never really going to be a terrible decision. The Stalkers from Nice are kind of stuck on the map. Obviously, Firefly knows it. His Adepts just got shut down by them. Army's still in the middle. 2 more DTs building up. They're not going to complete here. He's going to see Stalkers going to blink on top of the Disruptors. Yeah, okay, though you get the Disruptors, but you're going to lose a lot of Stalkers because you've just used all of your Stalker blinks offensively. Now you can't blink defensively at all. He does snipe the Observers in this fight as well, though. Maybe opening the opportunity of that DT play a little bit. He's going to blink forwards now. Nice just going to attack GG. He's lost too much, and he very much so knows it. And that's going to be Firefly putting Pixel 1 onto match point here in this battle to win this game. To keep TSG in the running. Bottom right-hand side. Our Blue Protoss player from Triumphant Song Gaming. This is nice. Up against our Red Protoss player in the top left-hand side. We have got Firefly winning out that first game between these two. In a very spectacular fashion, I gotta say. Game 6 of the overall series. We will get an ace match if Nice can win this game. Again, like I said, I feel like Nice is typically the more favorite, kind of the favorite player in all of this. Let's set this up. Robe's still on the way out. A couple of assimilators being built still. Extra gateway dropping down on both sides of the map. And the early game PvP will start off just the same as before as we get this underway. Game number 6. It's been quite the series. It was absolutely the series I was most looking forward to in Week 5 of the China Team Championship, and so far, it has indeed delivered. Feels good when these series deliver, you know? So again, after this, guys, quick reminder, we will be doing the Jin Air Green Wings versus Ocean Gaming matchup. That's a best of 7, the 5th/6th place decider match. Decides which of the teams goes to the playoffs. Is this probe? He's going to be running around a little bit. You can see the probe of Nice coming in to chase as well. A couple of Adepts continuing up, and there's going to be a pylon built up there that will not really do a lot. 2 Stalkers, 2 Adepts currently on the way out. Pylon from Nice to block over here again, just looking to try and see what spawns. That's pretty much what you want, right? You get the identification. Oh, it's 2 Stalkers. Well, you know, that kind of gives me some ideas as to what he might be up to. 2 Stalkers into 2 Adepts. On the other side, 2 Adepts into 2 Stalkers. So they're both players as they drop a Stargate. Pretty much the same idea, just a little bit of a different route to get to the same point. These 2 Adepts continuing up to the top side. And again, Warp Gate's going to be finishing shortly. just see those two Adepts going to be blocked, and they won't commit to that shade, although actually there's a Stalker here. Not sure if that's great. Just going to see a couple of Adepts continue to come out to the right side, a couple of Adepts out into the middle. Two Adepts and a Stalker working their way down to the bottom side here. The two Adepts do run away and actually able to turn this around with the two Stalkers versus the one. The Adept's going to go down pretty fast there, though. Shades. In the end, it's two Adepts for two Adepts, nothing too crazy. Oracle about to finish up from the Stargate, and the second Oracle will start as well. Look at the Stargate play from from Firefly, sorry. Straight into Phoenix. And theoretically, that should be really good here, because now he should be able to kill those Oracles. They shouldn't do anything at all, and he can put some counter pressure on. So this looks real good at the moment. Looks real good, as you do see the robot facility dropping down from Nice in the main base here. And there's a couple of Stalkers nibbling their way through these plates. Phoenix going to go after the Oracle right away, and that's going to be a good recall to save it. May at least be able to come in at a little bit of a later time. By the way, guys, if you're enjoying these games, we will get the replays of these as a subscriber in our Discord. So if you want to get your hands on these, do consider subscribing. Don't forget that we do have Mario vs. Zest coming up, which means you'll get Mario Zest replays as well in that subscriber replay pack. So if you would like to get your hands on that, consider subscribing to the stream. A couple of probes getting picked away at, multiple workers going down as the Phoenix will get into action. This is kind of the time where the Oracles should have prime time across the map, though, right? The Phoenix aren't there to defend and deflect, and I mean, I guess you get 5 workers, but Oracles can quite quickly get 5 workers too, but there are Stalkers to cover, so it looks as though Firefly should still be okay here. Phoenix back around down to the bottom side. The two Oracles up the left. Forge, Robo Facility, this probe. That charge upgrade as well. All continue to start up. Phoenix firing again. Another probe picked off. A few extra probes going down as the Stalkers looking to get rid of this Oracle. Oracle will go down. 5 probes killed. So there you go. You know, the Phoenix come across the map, get 5 workers, seems great, but then, boom, Oracles come in and get 5 workers as well anyways. But obviously the Phoenix are still alive, whereas the Oracles have gone down, and now it looks as though Firefly wants to launch an attack, heading down to the bottom right side of the map. A lot of Stalkers here then, gathering up as we do see the stasis wards set out the front. Charge is started as well already from Nice as well. Wow, what a stasis ward. Doesn't get much better than that. Every single Stalker stopped, and Firefly with a big army supply advantage. I mean, this was absolutely the time he would have wanted to fight. And now, well, actually now the Stalker count's evened up a little bit. The Phoenix have a bit of energy, but he lost 1. The Stalker's obviously just free to target that down. Firefly realizes it's time to get out of there. His +1 attack is on the way from him. He's got the robo up. A bunch of extra gateways from Nice. 5 extra gates with charge about to finish. He hasn't got any sort of techiness just yet. Feels like Nice is going to go for this. He's building a 3rd Nexus, but I don't think there's any intention of using that. It's just a fake out. Phoenix pushed away again. No natural gases. Has got to be a bit of a pickup from Firefly though, right? The problem is it's tough because if your opponent's got a 3rd Nexus, you kind of don't want to just build like a bunch of cannons and shield batteries to defend, because you're already behind a 3rd Nexus overall. There's an extra probe here and there from Nice, but nothing too major. Let's see what he does with these extra gates finishing shortly. Phoenix going to be patrolling right side of this main base, and just going to be seeing the Temple Archives will come in to play for Firefly. Big for him is extra gates still being dropped down. Nice is absolutely all in with this army then. He wants to make this happen with 1 large attack. Pure gateway units. Charge the only upgrade in play. He will be up against +1, but no charge, and I mean, Archon's starting to come in. The problem is you probably need more than 1 Archon here to really get rid of these Zealots quickly. 1 Archon just doesn't do that job. You can see the importance of it. He started to pull it back very quickly. More Zealots going to warp in right away, and again, that's the issue. There's just no real way to deal with these Zealots at the moment. Archon goes down. A couple extra Zealots warping in this time. They come in from Firefly, but they don't have charge, so they're very ineffective in terms of what they can do. And it's, again, those Zards from Nice that are just carrying them through this at the moment. My god, what a start. And Nice still has to back away here and give Firefly a little bit of breathing room. Another round of Zards warped in at home, was scared to warp in, or put the Prism into warp in mode. Another Zard warps in here as well. Stork's coming forwards, Immortal going to get picked off here. The other Immortal going to take a bit of damage as well, but lifted up into the Prism. Archon's being pulled back as well. The Immortal and the Archons continue to drop up into the high ground. This is those just a bit too much from Nice. I mean, the amount of gateways he's producing off of, and very effectively as well. Just going to see Zards continue to push on forwards here, and Archon's getting lifted up, dropped back down, continue to fight. The extra Zards continue to warp in here. Looks as though Nice is going to have a little bit too much as we see the couple of Archons stuck in back. As we're just going to be seeing the cleanup continues. I mean, Nice just has too much. I think if Firefly had like 3 Archons initially, he probably wins this game because he can just get rid of the Zards so much. If you didn't hear about this already, get up early, 8 AM CEST. Innovation Partin will be the first best of 5 in the All-Star Showdown, followed by Solo versus Cure, Impact versus Time, and I believe it is Jigra versus Maxed maybe? I can't quite remember what the final match is. Let me check super quickly for you guys. But it's a single elimination tournament starting tomorrow, starting early tomorrow. Sorry, Jigra versus Cyan. And it's a single elimination bracket. And yeah, it's going to be really good. 6 best of 5s and a best of 7 finals. So that's coming up tomorrow. We'll see you guys for that. It should be freaking awesome. Like, really, really awesome. Really looking forward to it. That's tomorrow. Live from China as well. We'll have a clean feed so you guys will be able to see the players. You'll be able to get the full production experience. It should be really great. All right. So, as we set this up and get this going, we do see a probe heading into the upper left side. Hatchery gas and pool setting up here. Drone on the way down. Gateway will drop at the front. As you see the Overlord coming down the bottom right side. ZVP, best of 7 ace match. Spawn and pool in the back of this mineral line as we get set in the early stages of this game 7. See if Firefly can pull off an upset. To be fair, I was kind of enjoying his play against Nice. He's been one of the more solid Chinese players, this season. If you actually look back at kind of what Firefly has done this season, it's kind of impressive. He took down a map off Sakura in week 1 against Psystorm. Week 2, he came in and he took a map off of Special. Week 3, he came in, map off of Dynamite. Week 4, he came in and he did lose 0-2 to Sue. Here we are in week 5. He already went 1-1 against Nice. So he's actually got a very good record in this league. Stargate drops down in the main. Nematez Carapace in the main on the other side. So Solar is just looking to play super safe. You remember earlier, Solar playing that ZVP against PartinG. He got Nematez Carapace after link speed. This is a Nematez super early, so he knows exactly what his opponent is up to from the very start. But actually, that's not really amazing for him here, because the Stargate opener is typically just a macro-focused opener. So there's not really a lot for Solo to see. The one big benefit, he'll probably save an Overlord that's usually killed by a Phoenix, but that's about it. As you see the Stargate about to complete here, and we're just going to be seeing Gateway Cybercore. He's going to be setting up as part of the wall-off here. Nexus is about to finish up another probe or so. Warp Gate coming up at the moment as we do see the Overlord coming down to the bottom side. Gateway gets started. Certain speed still just coming into play as the Phoenix is going to nibble away at that Overlord here, so Overlord taking quite a bit of damage. He's going to continue being chased away into the natural expansion there, and it's as though it will go down. So Overlord will get picked off. That's a job well done to start this, as we see the Oracle popping out of the main base. Oracle number 2 starting up. As we continue to get into this right now. Phoenix up through the middle, the Zerglings continuing forwards as well. On the right-hand side, this Oracle is going to go flying up to the top here, see what it can do. More drones in production. So still investing into that as the Phoenix coming all the way around the top side. And there is the Oracle, comes in, picks off one worker in that third base mineral line. Again, another job well done for the moment, as we do see the Oracle still chrono boosting out here. The Adept's able to pick up a Zergling at the front, and, well, again, a couple of extra Oracles. The Phoenix out over on the left side of all of this, as we do see the lair starting in the main base. Getting that up and ready to go. Roach drops down in the natural expansion. We have the Phoenix, which is just going to get pushed away to the left-hand side. A couple of Oracles are coming up to the top as well. Still looking to see where they can get to as they're going to make a turn and pick away a drone in this mineral line already. Continuing out down the right side. Cancel starting up, followed by a Forge. So we really are just going in towards a macro game here. Triple Oracle into just straight up macro, third Nexus on the way down. Firefly really just giving this his best shot. I mean, hey, you know what? Nothing to lose. But, you know, why not give yourself a macro game against Soul? It's good practice. It's a good opportunity to show yourself. Let's see what the guy can do. You know, I had a little giggle to myself when he got sent out. But you know what? In fairness, this could be something real interesting as we do see those Oracles back over to the left-hand side here. Forge, Twilight finishing up. A couple hallucinated Phoenix coming across as 3 Oracles into the main. I don't like that. Feels like they dove a little bit too far there with the Spore Crawler. Fortunately, does get all 3 out alive, and now this Overlord is taking a little bit of damage, but I mean, it will just pull back into the natural, right? There's Queens there to defend it. There's even transfusions, so I mean, you could have probably attacked it a bit more, but if it continued to be attacked, it would have been saved anyway, so not a big deal. Just going to be seeing the Overlord on the top side getting pushed away a little bit as well. This Overlord down the side hanging out as well. Templar Archives now dropping in. Extra Gateways dropping too. And these Oracles at the front here are going to go after this factory, and looks as though they might just about be able to get that. Doesn't go down yet. Queens jumping onto the other Queens there. Still just seeing this army of Protoss moving back down the bottom. Firefly is played this well so far, but now it's Solar's turn to kind of put things into his own hands. He's been defensive up until this stage. As Swarmhosts take to the field into that Nidus network, it's time for Solar to ramp up the aggression on his own side. This is where Firefly will truly be tested, because now it's Solar's game to control. Now Solar's going to be here. Now Solar's going to be everywhere. And now Firefly has absolutely got to respond correctly and attentively to this. So we'll see in the back of this natural, taking a few extra shots. There's a Nidus dropping down on this bottom side as well. Lings, a couple of Roaches, the Ravager, taking their way through the rocks here as well. Roach gets picked off. Roach number 2 under fire as well. Also shot down pretty quickly. There's the next Nidus building up over on the right-hand side. A couple extra Zerglings getting toasted as we do see the Locust going to drop in from the left as well. So initial pylon is taking a few shots. Zealots going down, and the sentries, first sentry gets picked off pretty much immediately here. The extra 2 Zealots continue to warp in. On the right, another Nidus is going to finish up, and still Ling Roach Ravager from Solar in the middle of the map. Warp Prism with 2 Immortals inside of it. Comes along to the right side. Locust, or Swarmhost, sorry, jumping back into the Nidus. Out now over to the right. Immortals drop down. Will start to pick their way through this Swarmhost army. So another Swarmhost picked off. Goes down, a couple more units being cancelled away here, and There are storms dropping towards those locusts. Another couple again. Well, I mean, so far so good from Solar, right? He's putting some good pressure at the front. This is generally where you don't want to keep fighting as Solar, because actually you kind of want to back away and just wait for the next wave of locusts to come and kind of help you out. Zealots are still charging forwards into this here. A couple of Immortals coming forwards too. Archon's finishing up. A little bit of dancing on those Immortals. Actually, Zealots are really necessary at this stage. Locusts are back in a few moments' time. Hey, this is a good defense from Firefly. I think Solar kind of underestimated him a bit and just kind of went into this for a bit too long. Lost a lot more Roach Ravager than he should have done. You know, when that Locust front line runs out, you're meant to back away and then come in again when it's going to be the Locust taking the brunt of the damage again. That is a save on the Archon. Good save too. Now he pulls back, so he has to only fight the Locust on the ground, which means they just do that little bit less damage. Fourth base will go down here, but can maybe get some Roach Ravagers as it tries to escape. I mean, especially the Ravagers currently being targeted down by Oracles. Firefly is still trading pretty well, all said and done. This Nidus will get shut down now as well. There's still the one over to the right side, though. Wow, really, really fun fight here up until this point. I'd honestly say coming out of this, you know, it's not a bad army supply, really, for Firefly, because there's a lot of Roaches in play, which is very inflating of the supply from Solar. I kind of feel like the only really big problem for Firefly is the fact he did lose the fourth base. I mean, yes, that's a problem, but it's not a massive one yet. He's not overly oversaturated in other bases, so for the moment, that's still manageable. Firefly's still in this, as we do see Locust go to the third. This is where it gets difficult, right? When suddenly the Locusts are going all over the place. You're not prepared for it. You don't have an army over here. Boom, now the Roach Ravager hits the fourth base again, so this will go down once more. And obviously, the more times this fourth base goes down, the more of an issue this becomes, because the longer you get into this game, where you're not actually really doing anything or mining properly as Firefly, and where you're needing to be mining off of that fourth base. Still don't like these Roaches still fighting here, just feels unnecessary. They make a couple kills, but lose a few of their numbers. I mean, I guess Solar's just very confident about his position. The biggest problem is the Greater Spy coming up. I tell you what, that's going to be a warp in. Spy should be the target here. Now he's setting the Warp Prism up on top of the Spore. Now, that's unfortunately a mistake, because he does get a good few drones, but I think the Greater Spire should have been priority, because you know what? Greater Spire is going to end this game. What does Firefly have to fight against Broodlords? He has nothing. Absolutely nothing, as we're going to be seeing Immortals and Archons pushing through the rocks over on the left side. Looks as though they will go down. There you have it, this army continuing to press forwards here. A couple more Corrosive Bowels dropping, extra Zealots warping in. Storms at the front again, as this hatchery will continue to take a lot of damage. It's another big storm on top of those Roaches. Woods continue to press forwards. Archon has to get lifted up again. 4 to 6. Okay, 6 extra Stalkers warping in right now. An extra Archon being built as well, and Stalker still blinking forwards with this. Going to pick off a Broodlord here, and the problem is there's just too many Broodlords, and that's going to make this really just too difficult to break through. The ground army is kind of softening up a little bit, but again, the Broodlords are just such a consistent force in the sky. They're running out of storms here from Firefly as well. It looks as though this is Solar's game waiting to be won at this stage, as the Broods continue to do good damage, and the Roach Ravager good support on the top side of this as well. Meanwhile, the Locusts are still around on the other side of the map. They killed the third Nexus, doing a great job over here. That's where the Swarm Hosts are and what they're up to. Broods still pressing forwards into this, and again, there is just not much more you can do at this stage. There's the GG from Firefly to give Solar and TSG the win. A bit of a light-hearted win, because again, Pixel 1 did confirm themselves first place in this group.